Everyone buying a condo wants to be as high up as they can in the building. They want the corner unit. They want to have all the bells and whistles. And while there are a ton of perks that come when you buy a condo that is the penthouse, that is the corner unit, like I mentioned, there's also a few different things that you might not have thought about that could seriously impact what your experience is living in that nice condo. So in this video, I'm going to drop 4 different things you might not have thought about and things to consider before you pull the trigger on one of these really nice high-end condos. Now, before we get into it, my name is Blanton. I'm an agent here in Atlanta, Georgia with eXp Realty, and if you're wanting to take a look at some more real estate, see some tours, get some more advice from my perspective, you can go ahead and subscribe right down below. Now, jumping right into it. Number 1, something that people do not think about when they're buying corner units, especially high up in a condo, you are going to be getting cooked. You need to go out and you need to invest in some very nice blinds. When you are that high up, a lot of the time you're above a lot of the buildings that are around you. I've run into this a handful of times. If you want to go take a look at one of these buildings, 25th floor, 30th floor, 35th floor, make sure you go around the time that you're going to be getting the most direct sun, because oftentimes you're going to be sitting in there and it's going to be much hotter in that unit than you were anticipating. Going to be running up quite the AC bill. So having some nice blinds, some nice curtains, some blackout curtains for your bedroom so that you're not getting sun straight into your eyes at 6 o'clock in the morning, depending on where you are, it is going to be well worth the investment, so you don't wind up sitting in a sweat box thinking I have this fantastic view, but I'm literally sweating my ass off in the middle of the day. So definitely something to consider. Tying in with that, right at number 2, you might want to reconsider the real hardwoods. So real hardwoods, when they get that direct sunlight, they're actually going to stain, they're going to fade. And so if you walk into a lot of these units, you're going to notice if they do have real hardwoods, the areas that are getting that direct sun exposure, they're going to be very faded. So instead of going for the real stuff, you might want to opt for a more high quality manufactured hardwood. Oftentimes they look just as good. Yeah, sure, they're manufactured, but do you really want to have 2 different colors in the same hardwood flooring? It's going to look a little weird. It's just, I personally wouldn't opt for it. Now, number 3, moving away from the sun and kind of the elements, if you will, is the actual HOA of the building itself. So if you're going to be buying up at the top of the building, you're probably going to be paying a bit of a premium, which sometimes I've run into can be a little frustrating for buyers, because they look at a building and they go, look, I'm buying unit 2804, for example, and I saw that unit 1204, the HOA was, $600 a month, but mine is $1,200 a month. What the hell is going on here? Oftentimes the HOA is going to be determined by the stack. However, they're probably going to be putting a premium the higher up you go, just because they know they can get away with it. They know if you're going to spend the extra coin to be on the 26th floor instead of the 12th floor, you're probably not going to freak out and decide you want to get frugal on the HOA. If you're willing to go out and spend that money, they think you're probably going to be willing to eat it on the HOA side as well. And last but certainly not least, at number 4, depending on where you're at in the city, depending on kind of what street you're living on, oftentimes people think, oh, if I'm higher up in the building, I'm going to have less noise. Sometimes that can actually come back to bite you. So I've been in units before that, just depending on the layout and depending on the surrounding buildings, the sound actually echoes up from the street level, and so you wind up getting just as much noise as you would have if you were literally sitting there right down in front of it on the 2nd or the 3rd floor. Hopefully you got some value out of this, gave you some things to consider if you are looking at going out and buying nice badass condo building. So if you're looking at doing so in Atlanta, you can go ahead and click the link down below. I'd love the opportunity to chat, see if it might make sense for us to work together. Again, my name is Blanton here in Atlanta with eXp Realty. Talk to you soon.